So BTC is just under 100K, but these alts are absolutely ripping. We've seen dominance losing some big support, so things are really looking good out there. But the news today has got something to do with coins in the USA. What is going on with that? What are we going to do about them? So today we're going to look at some of those coins. We're obviously going to update some of the trades from yesterday, and I've got some more bangers for you. So we got tons to talk about here today. Let's get right into it. And remember, as always, guys, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. And as you know by now, we've got our new. Where's your super?
Not today.
It's blank. We need Superman. So there's a new likes bounce at the moment. He's bringing us some alpha as well today. He's got some news for us. Just been launched, or some news that's just broken. He's going to talk to us about that. And then Banter Bubbles, absolutely cooking here. Look at Litecoin, 20% up. That is on my menu today. There is news on Litecoin at the moment. HBAR, you saw I was sitting in HBAR yesterday. That thing is starting to rip now. XRP, you know the XRP story. That is news again. That thing is ripping. It's the highest levels in years for XRP. So that thing is really starting to fly. And we even saw Solana start waking up. So we're covering tons of that stuff. And just apologies for my sound quality again today. We're having problems with the sound, but that is not going to stop the absolute bangers. So let's get into BTC. Let's see what is coming right now and what they might have in store for us later on today. So as we can see in the last couple of hours, this is during the day for me. We have had some kind of sell-off on BTC, but the first levels that I dropped earlier today in hackers was a big zone of interest for us. Why was this interesting to me? It was the 50-day MA, it was the 236, it was the horizontals, all starting to talk to me at this 97,500 region. Look at that. That 50-day MA has come into play. So we've had a nice dip into that zone, nice little stop hunt there. Some of the alts hit some supports, and we've had a strong bounce off that region. So our first line of support today is going to be 97,500. We need to use that as our main banger low for the day. Now, there is something we need to pay attention to. We have had quite a nice wick, and when we do get these wicks, they often tend to come back and just grab a little bit of the liquidity. So all you want to see, if we do have a second pullback now, is BTC start printing a higher low, and then we get a nice push back up to that higher region. Now, look, I've shown a rejection at that zone because it is a typical rejection area, 102 to 102,500. And if we do pump into that area, I'm most likely going to look for some kind of head short on BTC, and most likely going to start adding to some of the head shorts on some of my alts that I'm running at the moment. So 102 to 102.5, that is going to be your next major resistance zone. But let's not forget, we've got to clear the highs, obviously, at, call it 101K. So when we clear 101K, then we're looking for potential shorts at that 102,500 zone for us. So Lani says, give me some alpha. My girlfriend dumped me. Bro, I'm sorry to hear this, but we're going to have to make you some dollars so you can supply handbags to some new girlfriends here. And I've got a couple of entries for you guys that I think are going to play out. So let's get into some news. And this is what I've got going on right now on Prime XBT. And yesterday I banked that ETH long that you guys saw on the show yesterday. I banked about $9,500 there, and we've let ETH bleed out. At the same time, I've been building a Bitcoin short as a hedge, and that thing is still pretty much flat at the moment, but I've re-entered ETH, and this was a setup I dropped in Chart Hackers about an hour and a half ago when ETH dropped into one of our regions there. So I've gone long on ETH off a nice zone. ETH, not the most exciting trade, but I've got the chart for you, and we're going to talk about that one as well. So that's the current situation there, and for the sake of the show here, I'm going to just put my stop under those lows there for now. Okay, so I'm going to leave my stop for this trade 3251, but we're going to look at some proper stop ranges when I go through that ETH chart in a couple of minutes. So head short BTC, long ETH off a nice hot zone there for us at the moment, and actually I'm still long. If you go to the CFD account, I'm still long on that S&P. So I'm not going to open that account now, but you can see there it is. Well, let's look at it. Here's my CFD long on the S&P 500. That thing is still doing some things for us, but you can see we got a little bit of a reversal there. So we're going to look at that one in the moment. And here we are again. Now we've seen this one many times, 100K, 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 100K. And when is it going to end? Are we finally going to blow this thing? Are we finally going to get the move? So it's getting very frustrating. And we know there's a lot of guys shorting that 100K region, and rightly so. It's proved to be quite a big resistance level for us. Now, there's a couple of bullish news items floating around at the moment, and we've actually got more than is what is on this tweet at the moment. But sentiment saying 2 US-themed bullish news stories today have hit crypto today. Okay, there's more. Trump has announced that his upcoming presidency is planning for immediate friendlier SEC rules, clearer token guidelines, and less legal restrictions following his inauguration next week. So that is, they're saying following the inauguration. Maybe the market's getting ahead of themselves, but you have noticed things are looking pretty bullish out there at the moment for the market as a whole. And then US inflation reports show cooling inflation and more optimism of further Fed rate cuts, which would immediately favor crypto growth. So through the hawkish FOMC meeting last month contributed to cryptocurrency top, traders are hoping that this slightly changes their decisions on slowing rate cuts in 2025. Now, we did see some comments actually regarding the slowing of rate cuts, and now they're talking 3 or 4 cuts could be possible this year. Now, remember last year they were talking about 2. All of a sudden, now we're talking about 4 again. It's back on the table, and the market is turning bullish. Now, a couple of bearish things floating out there. We know they're a big exchange, and we know, when the Koreans get involved there, these tokens move. We know they are big players in the market as a whole, and they're in a little bit of trouble. 700,000 KYC violations. Okay, I mean that's pretty hectic. So, and the South Korean government doesn't mess around. So these guys are going to be under pressure there. That's Upbit, and then this is the big news today. Okay, this is there's another bit of big news today that I'm talking about. This is another piece of big news today, and I actually asked James to let me know what is going on here, because I thought USDT was all over the place, and maybe he's got a little opinion here as to what is going on. So what's the story?
Well, it looks like there's some integration here where USDT can be used cross-chain without the friction, and just makes this a whole lot easier moving it. I saw something about Kraken too, that they now can accept this, where I know I use Kraken just because of being in Canada, and I always have to get USDC to go into Kraken. That's finally don't have to get in and out of USDT. It's just going to make things a lot less friction along the way, and should make it a lot easier for everybody.
Okay. So there's smoother moving for USDT. Can you just send these things now? Does it just automatically move it onto different chains?
Yeah, it looks like you can do cross-chain everything now. No issues whatsoever. Yeah, you can trade from one to the next, and it's just no issue at all. So this should make things really smooth and fix that USDT problem for a lot of people.
Okay, nice. Well, there you go, guys. That's pretty bullish on its own. I mean, we've got even more bullish things coming up for us. So we know now that the Fed is talking about, I love the wording of this and how people jump into this stuff. But the guy says 3 or 4 cuts could be possible this year. I mean, he's not committing to anything, but the market loves this shit, and they make these headlines as you go. But look, S&P looking nice. We spoke about this one yesterday, and lots of bullish divergence here at the moment. You can see on the daily, that is looking hot. So a little bit of work to do. You can see we are in this channel. So, we could rationally say that is in play for the S&P, obviously. But anyone feeling super bullish, well, you know what needs to happen. We need to pop the 50-day MA. We need to pop that trend, and then we are all systems go, and things are cooking again. So pretty much, let's blow this 50-day MA. Let's call it 5,980. Let's pop that 5,980 zone, and then we get more bullish. Until we do that, guys, there could be a little reversal. Just something to note. And then TechDev says this sent Bitcoin every single time. Now, it appears the chart that he's dropped here is some kind of stochastic, and I would guess I couldn't see the time frame, but I'm guessing this is going to be a monthly chart or something along those lines. And every time you saw the blue line cross over the orange line on, I think this is his stochastic that he's using here, there was quite a lot of pumpage here on BTC. Okay, so that is looking pretty good from this perspective. We've just had that crossover, and that is pretty bullish. That's pretty good timing leading into the inauguration as well, and leading into this Trump presidency. So let's look at BTC now on the daily. We can see, just like that S&P, we've got our bullish divergence playing out at the moment. We also have our secret blue dot print from my chart prime oscillator. That thing is telling us there's a little bit of energy, and you can see that is starting to play out very nicely for us too. But just like the S&P, we are sitting at trend resistance. We know what needs to happen. We need to blow this trend. We need to get bullish here, start popping things, or it becomes very, very likely that if we get that reversal, we most likely coming back down to fill some wicks, or worst case, we are coming back even lower, and you're going to see us in some kind of channel to the downside. Now, I just want to point out, remember how we felt up here? Did we feel too bullish? Did we feel too bullish up here? How are we feeling right now? How's our bull levels at the moment? I mean, how's your bull levels at the moment sitting at major resistance?
Max bull. Max bull.
Always the most bullish at resistance and the most bearish on support. Isn't that always
by the top?
So all I want to say is, guys, you can see the picture here on the higher time frame. We can't have tears later if there is a meltdown in the market. So you cannot cry. You cannot say Uncle Dylan didn't tell you that we're sitting in major resistance. So this is time for head shorts. This is time for taking profits. Did you see I banked that ETH trade yesterday, walked away? Now we're looking at it again, no problem. Head short BTC. This is time to be responsible and balanced. Let's not enjoy the pump we've had in 2 days and I'll give it all up. Okay, hopefully I'm making a little bit of sense here. I hope I am. Okay, let's go. BTC, you know the deal. Okay, this is well. Let's go back to my Prime XBT trading account. There we are. And okay, there we go. Okay, so ETH is doing its thing. Bitcoin head short in play. Remember, guys, if you want to do anything like this, okay, you can learn to do it in 10 days. My trading accelerator is live again, and I do have my next masterclass coming at the end of January. So make sure you are signed up. You're going to learn how to use all my TA. You're going to learn all the tricks that I get up to, including some advanced leverage techniques and some advanced trading tips and tricks, as well as all these chart prime indicators that I'm involved in. So just jump into the show description, register for the trading accelerator. You're going to learn how to do all of this stuff within 10 videos, basically in 10 days. You're going to get absolutely cooked there, and then you're going to join me in a masterclass, and hopefully you will join our hackers community as well. So there is a link for everything that I talk about in the show description today. You're going to see the 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗏 competition. You're going to see Bitfunded. You're going to see a few other things today, and all that information is in the show description. Just go under my show, click on more, and select the item that you are interested in that I'm talking about. Okay, let's get into some of the juice here and see what is going on. So importantly today, what have we noted? We can see these altcoins are waking up, and AI 𝗙𝗦𝗟𝗏𝗟 says ADA or Ondo. Look, I'm talking about ADA today, but I am an Ondo fan. RWA play, big fan on Ondo. Okay, total 3. This is our altcoin market cap. You know I love to use this one. This is all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And you can see this is looking nice and bullish now at the moment. We have broken trend, which is a good start. We have also printed a new high. So that is always a nice thing to see, because that tells us we could be in some kind of trend to the upside now. So we've had quite a few days of suffering. You can see at some point we were looking at, just the other day, a bearish setup here. This thing was threatening to start dropping. Now we are popping the right shoulder. That is looking much more bullish. Now we've broken the trend. That is looking much more bullish. And today we've broken through that 50-day moving average at the $1 trillion mark. So things are teeing up for the alts, looking a lot better now than they were a couple of days ago. And what is working in our favor as well, you saw that head and shoulders on total 3 that I've just mentioned. Let's look at dominance. Remember, we had that inverse head and shoulders on dominance looking dangerous for the altcoins. That was threatening to pop higher. That is now failing. So just like we've seen total 3 breaking up, looking more bullish, we can see dominance losing key support. Now, what is the key support I'm watching? It's the 200-day MA and it's the 50-day MA as well. And these are big support levels. So if we can get a daily close of this dominance under this region, I think we're going to be pretty bullish on these altcoins. So let's make sure we get the candle closed. Right now, this is just some trading going on at these levels. We want to see the candle close under that type of region. That will be pretty bullish for us, because if we do dip lower, we'll most likely get a retest to the upside and then potentially more downside there for us on dominance. That is naturally super bullish for these altcoins. So getting a little bit excited from that front. And then look on chain. We spoke about this yesterday. Trump's World Liberty buying $10 million worth of ETH. And well, I mean, our boy's looking quite bullish. I don't know which one, which is the real photo. I'd probably say the top one is probably the real photo, to be fair. And he's feeling a little bit bullish here on ETH. But again, let's look at the pros. Let's look at the cons at the moment. So we've seen bullish divergence on the S&P. We've seen bullish divergence on Bitcoin on the daily, and we're looking at ETH on the daily. And look at this bullish divergence print here as well on ETH. Look at this. We've got a proper print here on our oscillator that is telling us things are starting to look a little bit better and a little bit more aggressive. Now, just like the S&P, just like Bitcoin, you can see we are in this downtrend on ETH. So again, we can't say we are out of the woods. We can't suddenly say we are turbo bullish, but what is helping us at the moment, what is guiding us? Total 3 is broken trend. Dominance is losing key supports. Does this mean that ETH could be next? So that is why I've started laddering into that second ETH trade of mine that you've just seen on Prime XBT. And you can see we've just got to blow this big resistance band, 3,500. When we start cracking 3,500, for me, that is going to tee up 4,000 as our next target on ETH. But let's just get through that, because just like I showed you on the S&P, just like we looked at on BTC, there is a possibility that we do get a fake out into this 50-day MA, and then they come and they tap that big level, and then we still get bullish just in a week's time. Okay, so this is on the table. Think pump into inauguration, think massive sell-off, think buys again at 2.8, and then the marks, the tokens start running. There is any chance to shit hit the fan. 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗡𝗦. There's always a chance in crypto that shit is going to hit the fan, bro. There's always a chance. There's always something going on out there, and there's always some kind of surprise coming. So let's look at degen levels on ETH. And again, anybody looking for an ETH trade now, if you want to get involved in some ETH, if you believe this market can churn a bit higher over the next couple of days, look, essentially you want to make sure it's holding a couple of levels. But what I want to give you is a degen setup for ETH so that you can try and take advantage of a specific move. So what is going on here? This is ETH on the 1 hour. You can see we've blown through our 1 hour resistance. And what I love to see when we are turning bullish, when we're breaking these horizontals, I love to see a little dip back into the horizontal and a tap on the 382. So you can see this 382 has come into play now for us. There's those horizontals, and 3,250 for me is going to be your first marker for ETH. But then I'm really loving this 3,190 because we've got the 100-day MA as cover. I've got my anchored VWAP as well. I've got my 0.5 pip, and I've got tons of horizontals here as well. So there'd be argument to say that that would be some kind of inverse head and shoulders there on ETH on the 1 hour. So potentially looking bullish, and we can tie that in with the reversal print on the oscillator there. Look at that thing. We're getting our green print, and it's telling us that we might get some kind of upside move. And look out for a little divergence again, maybe one more dip. But for me, if you're looking for a degen play on ETH, you going 3,250, support 1. 3,190, support 2, and then more buys if you need to, 3,125. Those are your buys for ETH if it's going to stay bullish leading into the next couple of days, leading into the inauguration. I'd like to see 3,125 hold as the extreme low, and then we get some kind of move to the upside. So that is my game plan on ETH, and also be prepared to cut if you're wrong, okay? Remember, the market is hot, the market's cooking. I'm going to show you a couple of alts where we have some bearish divergence forming at the moment, where there might be some short time frame reversal. So we need to be prepped in all manners and all ways. So let's start with some of the other big news now, and we're going to look at a couple of tokens. Big news today: Trump plans to create a strategic reserve for altcoins founded in US, okay? Like altcoins founded in the US, like XRP, okay, pumping today, like Solana, as you noticed, it started pumping today. And there could be a whole host of other tokens founded in the US that could be of interest. So this is going to be us, if the market starts ripping, and this is going to be me again in the middle of the night, looking at all of our entries if these things do start happening to us. And who actually does that? James, do you do that? Because I occasionally get up to that if I'm in a couple of positions.
I'm not sleeping right now with the XRP price action. I just got to sit and watch the numbers go up all night long. I'm a bit tired today.
This is that feeling, though. This is that feeling at 3 in the morning. I mean, it's totally. Anyone who's leverage trading knows this feeling. And then 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 from Chart Hackers. This is our low cap gem expert. He dropped a little thread here on Twitter. It might make some fun reading for you guys. And the 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 says rumors of a US altcoin strategic reserve are sparking excitement. This could spotlight US connected tokens with strong fundamentals. So here we go. He's given you a list of 14 high cap altcoins that might benefit from this. Now, this is just speculation, obviously, but he's given an argument for all of these tokens. Look at this: XRP, XLM, Solana, AVAX, HBAR, Algo, Aptos, SUI, Render, ICP, Flow, Ondo. I mean, there's a whole list. Litecoin, I'm talking about that one now as well. So read what he has to say. You could follow him at 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗔𝗥𝗡. Okay, RIEYAAN. You can see that name there, and he's the 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪. He's the man in our chart hackers Discord. Now let's talk Sol, because this one really started pumping on that news today. Now there was real emphasis on Solana. There was emphasis on Ripple. Okay, so that made sense that Sol started really taking off today. But interestingly, it is still in our short zone that we gave yesterday. So we are still in the danger zone for Sol. We are not out of the woods just yet. Okay, you can see this whole region is actually a danger zone for us. This is the 50-day MA. This is the VWAP from the highs. Now look how the VWAP from the highs acts as resistance. Okay, now we are pushing into the VWAP for Sol. So yes, of course, it can break 100%. Things can break, but just want to put it out there, okay, which is another reason why I've just added a little bit to a head short on Sol, just in case we get a reversal. This is a danger zone for me on Sol, all the way up to, I mean, if we take into account this wick as well, anything up to 225, 226, you could easily see something like that as well before there is some kind of reversal. So I just want to put that out there. This is Sol on the 8 hour, and it's been cooking. And let's take a look quickly on some lower time frames. I just want to see on the lower time frames what type of reversals they are trying to show us, or what potential reversals we are getting. Let's just let this thing come through. And there we go. Okay, so Sol on the 1 hour is giving us some kind of bearish divergence here and reversal prints. Now, we know Sol on the daily is looking bullish and those types of things, but this often tells us that we might get some kind of shorter time frame, just little breather, and before we start turning bullish again. So again, we use these types of indicators at major resistance zones to guide us, and this tells us, look out, be careful in those types of areas. And it's playing into its hands here at this resistance zone at the moment. You can see on the 1 hour, it still needs to print a new high. At the moment, it's printing a lower high, and we really want to see that print a new high and carry on grinding, or this divergence is potentially going to play out, and then Sol is going to be, just drifting a little bit to the downside. So just to clear up a couple of targets and a couple of levels for Sol traders now, and something you might be looking for. So our first interim target is going to be 220 to 228. That is going to be our target number one. And then upside targets, we're going to look at 244. And then we're going to look at the highs at 250. Now, that would be in a perfect world. But remember, to get there, we need to confirm that we are breaking highs again. So we really want to start breaking through those types of regions for Sol to start pushing those types of levels. So right now, if you're sitting in a Sol position, what do? How do you manage this trade? Because we've had a nice move today. And where's your big support if you want to try and hold the position on any dips? Okay, so if your bias is bullish that Sol is going to hold any pullbacks, what you're doing is fibs from the lows to the highs, pull it to the absolute highs there, and then you want to take into account one of your most bullish fibs, and that is going to be your 382 that you're going to be watching. So 382 fib at 200, call it 200 to 198. That is going to be your most bullish support. So if you do have a dip in the market, you're going to look for buyers anything down to 200, with the assumption that Sol is going to hold those levels. The market is going to remain bullish for us. Anything I don't care. Dill bro, please tell me, is my AR safe? Guys, well, hopefully nothing's happened to AR. Let's see where it is. Bro, you're good. You're at resistance. Okay, you're at a rejection zone. Okay, so we're going to talk about that one in a minute. Just let me finish my story here. Okay, so Sol 198 to 200. That's where the action is at the moment on any dips later today. And ultimately, you really want to be settling above the 50-day MA as soon as possible. And you can see that 50-day MA is playing resistance for us at the moment. So we really, if we do get this dip down into that region, we really want to start reclaiming that 210 pretty quickly on Sol as well. So all is well. Let's call it all is well, subject to Sol holding 198. And let's see how this weekend plays out leading into the inauguration. Now, XRP back in the news. SEC officially files an appeal in the Ripple lawsuit. I assume that means they want to fight some more. It didn't seem to affect Ripple's price today, and I always love these comments when these things get dropped. There's always such classic comments here. I mean, look at this shit going on here. Look at this live footage at the SEC at the moment. I'll always just come for the comments. I mean, this shit is just brilliant. But let's talk XRP. What an absolute ripper! I can't believe I spent so much time talking about XRP, but here we go again. And this thing is blowing through some incredible levels. So let's go on the weekly. Let's just see where we are. Okay, this chart doesn't even have the history. So, I mean, we could take this thing back to 2016 or whenever it started launching. So we'll have to look another day. But right now, let's talk, what do we do in the interim? Okay, what do we do now with XRP? Is it safe to now start trading this thing now? What do we do? So here is our 4-hour oscillator printing some divergence. Again, doesn't always play out, but it's giving you bearish divergence. It's telling you this thing is under pressure. So as long as we are printing lower highs on this oscillator and we are printing higher highs on the price, we know we are going to get some kind of a big reversal at some point, and this is all going to start dropping for us on XRP. So if you are longing XRP at these levels and you're trying to ride it up, just remember your risk. And maybe these are the types of levels where you want to say to yourself, look, let's get in for some quick scalps. When this divergence plays out, we know XRP is going to pull back. Then you can look at your higher conviction type positions once that happens. But right now, I'm telling you, this thing is hot. Okay, it could pump. Obviously, it could pump another 5, 10, 15%, but just be careful. Consider your trade a scalp situation if you are trying to jump into positions on XRP. And then in terms of decent support, I can't give you proper support levels here on XRP. You can see this thing is absolutely blowing itself. And what we can do is just drag this from the high to the low. And I can say your safest level is going to tie in with this VWAP at 2.95. So that is the best I can give you now. 2.95 down to 2.83. Those are the most reasonable support levels I can give you. And 1312 says, I hate XRP more than I hate Fartcoin. I concur. I think XRP is so irritating, and it's even worse that I have to talk about it at the moment, and it's even worse that it's actually consistently printing me handbags. I mean, look at this thing here. It consistently prints handbags, and where's our XRP? Here's XRP at the moment, $3,400 up, okay? And again, we're getting another handbag from the most irritating token on the planet. It actually grinds me. But anyway, we'll trade it. If it's going to give us money, guys, we're going to trade it, okay? It's as simple as that. And we can be smug about it later. And at some point, we're going to short it as well. And then we're going to enjoy it. Limit X is this the end? Is this the end of what? The XRP pump? What is this the end of, bro? Talk to me. Limit X. Talk to me. It's totally a hated rally. I agree. Talk to me, people in the chats. I got Pravneet talking to me about Arkham. Limit X, you have to talk to me. Is this the end? Why is this the end? Talk to me. Let's see what else we got here. Ramesh, bro, if you love me, please tell me about Nia. Okay, James, just remind me about Nia in a couple of minutes. When I get you some of these tokens, remind me about Nia, because I want Ramesh to know that I love him. Let's see what else. Systematic taxation UFO says, I'm smoking grass. I'm so baked. Nice for you. That's nice. They want me to look at grass. Wasn't that a potential short happening there for grass yesterday? I believe. I think Dave gave us an opportunity. What's bloody happening to ETH? Says Template. Am I missing something here? What's happening to ETH? It's sitting there. It's just chilling at the moment. It's not pumping like the others. We know. But it could be a boring trade, but it could be nice. You can build a big size. And Mia says she wants horses. Well, then we need to trade bigger positions. I only trade handbag sizes here, guys. We need bigger size then. And Mark is in the chat. He loves some XRP. Can I get a Bitfunded account? Guys, I told you guys how to get a Bitfunded account yesterday. Okay, we'll do another one for you guys tomorrow to celebrate Friday. And where's the comment? There it is. Can I please get a Bitfunded account? We're gonna do another one of these tomorrow. So make sure you are tuned in. I'm gonna tell you how you can win one of 5 or 10 Bitfunded starter accounts. But I'm gonna give you that tomorrow. Okay, so make sure you come back tomorrow and make sure you do exactly what I say in the chats tomorrow as well. And while we're talking, guys, before I'm jumping into some of these other tokens, what I need you to do after every show, not during the show. Obviously, during the show, you can tell me what you want to see, and I'll try and bring up some of those tokens. But if you want me to pre-plan some tokens and chart them, after the show, in the comments, drop the token that you want me to trade or to chart the next day, and I'll prep it for you. Now, I'll select 2 or 3 of those things and get them ready for you. So make sure after the show, you drop your comments, you tell me what you want, and then we will sort it out. Okay, let's see. Dylan, launch your own AI agent. That is coming in hot, bro. I'm busy working on that at the moment, okay? It's going to talk like me, and it's going to be on Twitter. You're going to see. Okay, let's go. XRP. So we've covered XRP. You know the levels there. Let's talk a couple of trades now before we jump into things. Okay, building that short at the moment. You can see I just showed you that 𝗚𝗓𝗡 chart. We are sitting at a resistance band, so that is potentially time for a reversal now on 𝗚𝗓𝗡. So we're going to watch that one. XRP, as you can see, it's up. Brett's playing games with me, but happy. It was minus 18 or 20,000. It's now flat. Okay, so that's good to see. Nice to see my Brett short going red. They must rinse me on that short. They must turn it absolutely red. I'm totally happy with that. If they want to do that for me. Griffin from yesterday, no changes. That's still going. Frog from yesterday, no changes. AVAX is good. 𝗬𝗏 finally turned green, negative 6K. Now it's green, $600. So that's a banger. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 handbag money. Look at that. Here goes the handbag again on 𝗏𝗏𝗏 coming in hot. Peppy, no changes. Aero from the other day, no changes. 𝗚𝗓𝗡 long. Okay, time to bank that. Let's actually close that right now. Close 𝗚𝗓𝗡 handbag. Bang. Okay, there's our handbag. 𝗚𝗓𝗡 at resistance. And then Sol, it's cooking, okay, as you can see. So that's what I've got. I closed a ton of trades yesterday. Some of those, I was in too many positions. I closed Injective. I closed some of those AI XBTs. I closed a couple of others. So that is me at the moment, what I'm trading. So let's go. News on Litecoin. So Litecoin could be one of the American tokens as well for us. And we need to pay attention to this thing. It's woken up. So Canary Funds filed an amended S1 for their Litecoin ETF. No guarantees, but this might be indicative of an SEC engagement on the filing. So that's obviously bullish on Litecoin. I mean, look how the market is reacting now at the moment. Litecoin could be one of these tokens that gets into that reserve, and it's something you want to pay attention to. So in terms of what we're looking at now, this is Litecoin on the daily, and I was looking at this earlier this afternoon, but it's totally blown up, so I can't give you an entry now. I was looking at it in this type of region for you guys, and maybe it was going to be a nice little pop into 128 or into 144, but it's now already hit target zone number 1. So if you are sitting in Litecoin, what I can say is we can see there is bullish divergence. Okay, that is looking good for us on the daily, looking nice and strong. Where can this thing go? So for me, if this was a trade, if this was a leverage trade, I would say TP zone is now 128 to 130. This is your danger zone number 1. And then if there is a little bit more energy, you want to make sure that you are clipping something at the 140s region. Okay, don't get too greedy. And at the 140 zone, you want to be taking something off on Litecoin there. That looks like easy pickings for the market makers. Look at this wick. And this might be beautiful if we get a pump into the Trump inauguration, and then we get a beautiful sell opportunity on some of these altcoins. I think Litecoin could be a short at 142 to 145. So just look out for that. Mark those levels on your chart, and that's what you're going to look out for. Now, another American token. It wasn't on the Boopsters list, but I thought we've got to put ADA on the list. This Charles Hoskinson, we know he's involved in government. He's doing all sorts of things, and he's got his paws. He's got his paws in a couple of places, and we know there's been bullish things on Cardano. So let's take a look here and see what is going on. So this is Cardano on the weekly, and just to give you an idea as to where this thing can go, just to remind you guys, 1.66. 2 and 2.3. These are on the radar now in super bullish conditions. Now, we can see this thing is behaving a little bit better. We know there's lots of news on the table, 50%, 79%, 109%. I think these are all reasonable. If the market starts ripping the way the world wants it to, so we might have a pullback after the inauguration or whatever. But if there is some kind of Trump pump, these are possible targets that you are going to be watching on Cardano. And again, spot traders, just cruise. You've got major support at the 80-cent level. Lots going on there for you guys. So just cruise. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then shorter time frame traders, well, this is where it gets tricky. This is where you might get stopped out a couple of times. This is where you can get chopped up in a bull market. This is where you can actually lose money in a bull market. If you start looking at trades like this, for example, and you start jumping in and you realize, look, my main zone is quite far down. So that puts me at risk. So if you start going high leverage trading on things like Cardano, and you're starting to trade a breakout, for example, on this type of trend, you can see, yes, there is a breakout here at the moment, but what is your realistic move to the downside that you need to allow that is reasonable, okay, for a token to just breathe a little bit and continue an uptrend? And you can see at the moment, your risk is 11.7% on Cardano if you want to take a position here on this trend break. So that's 11.7%, give or take, down to a reasonable zone where I would expect a reaction. So if the market sells off, that is where I expect quite a big move out of Cardano. Now, it's obviously hard with FOMO. missing out on these things and saying, well, it's breaking trend, this thing can go so high. But yes, of course it can. But what is your risk here? Your risk is getting stopped out multiple times on this thing, trying to trade the breakout. Your risk is getting chopped up, wasting money while it does stuff like this, okay, before it eventually pops again. So that is why I love to spend a lot of time, and that is why a lot of the guys in Hackers, myself, David, Chaos, we love these entries. We love these big juicy zones. When we dip into those areas, that is the risk reward zones that we love in the chart hackers. And that is what you're going to learn if you do that accelerator course that I've spoken about earlier today. So what do you do now with ADA? If you want to trade it, you've got to look at some levels on your candles. That's all you can basically work on. So short-term levels here, Cardano 1.08, that could be support, reasonable support now for degens. And then you've got your levels slightly lower down, and that is going to be your one level. So call it 1.01. What I don't like about what I'm seeing at the moment is this oscillator here getting a little bit hot at the moment. But again, it's not the danger zones just yet. It is possible that it can just grind around in these zones for a while. I'm going to show you another token that has been doing this for days, and that thing can grind quite a bit higher. So just watch yourself, watch your main support. So your best support I can give you 1.087. So if you do get some kind of dip in there, you'd expect on a medium-sized pullback that support to hold for Cardano. And then upside targets that you want to look for, I'd say keep it simple, 1.22 and 1.31. So these are the most reasonable areas I can give you. Something along these lines here. So your risk is still 3.8%. Exercise extreme caution with high leverage if you want to trade that. And your real risk, if you're trading spot, about 10%, 11%. That's your relaxing level that you want to watch. Sana wants some virtual. I've got virtual, guys. I'm still in that virtual position, and we're going to look to add on some virtual there on any weakness. So that is coming in hot as well for you guys. Now let's talk HBAR. Another one on Boopster's list. Okay, so Boopster gave us a nice long list there. If you want to read through, he did talk about HBAR here, and he gave a couple of reasons why that could be an interesting one. And let's take a look at the chart. Let's see what is going on. So as you can tell, HBAR is pushing into major weekly resistance. So we've seen what happens in the past when it hits that. We get rejections or we get pumps. We know this is a big reaction zone for us. Last time we pushed into that zone, massive reaction on HBAR. What happens next? Now we can see we are at this area. If we do pop that zone, what does this tell me? It tells me we get access to another trade of about 27%. So how do we get the 27% trade on HBAR? Well, we got to get a little bit smarter. Okay, we got to start diving in on lower time frames and identify, okay, number one, that if we break this resistance band above us, 376, if we start popping 3.7, if we start popping 3.8, those types of levels, there's a chance that this thing runs another 27%. Okay, now that is obviously risky. And first thing I want to point out is look at this oscillator that I just showed you on Cardano. Look at this thing. It's just grinding here at the highs, printing, reversal, 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 reversal. This thing is screaming at me that it wants to come down, but they just keep grinding this thing higher. And interesting, it is now happening at major resistance. Okay, so just note, we are at a danger zone now on HBAR. Where is your safest zone? Now, if we get some kind of reversal on that 1 hour, it most likely comes back to test a hot zone. But we know HBAR looks really good right now. So if there is weakness in the market, I suspect it will be short-lived. And that, unfortunately, is all the way down at 0.33 for you guys right now on HBAR. Okay, so 0.33 is going to be the banger for you guys, but that might take a little bit of time. So what you're looking at now, your alternate option for the absolute degens out there, obviously, is you want to look at some kind of consolidation at this resistance. We know this is major resistance up there. So you're going to look for some kind of flag. You want to see this start playing out now on HBAR. This is your best case. And then that break and then that push to the upside. So how do you do that? You can use a 236 fib as your guide. Now, this is the 236 is built for degens, okay? Because it's, a token's got to be super hot. It's got to be cooking, and there's got to be tons of interest from the market for that 236 to hold. So that level is 347 that you're going to be watching on HBAR. So 347 is going to be your lows of the flag. So if we do get lucky enough that we get some kind of flag here, 347 is what you want to watch. And then you're going to trade any breaks out of that type of move there, some kind of flag pushing down to that 347. That is the safest thing I can give the degens, and then the safest thing I can give the normal non-degens, the lower time frame guys, the relaxed guys, your big zone or your big support zone is 0.33 that you're going to be watching on HBAR. Remember, guys, all of these charts, they go straight into Chart Hackers after the show. Okay, I'm going to be dropping them in there for you guys. So if I'm moving too fast or you're a little bit confused, go to Chart Hackers. They are in there for you guys, and you can look at them at your leisure, obviously. Mr. Invalidated, yeah, look, there's an argument for a short on HBAR. I got 100% agree with you. Okay, look at that. Major reversals here. And if anything, there might be one more pump to the upside and then some kind of rejection. In fact, you know what? Let's bank a handbag. Okay, we got HBAR at resistance. We got 3,000. That's $3,000 more than I had, say, this morning. Okay, so let's close. Thank you so much for the handbag. Very kind of you. And that's it. So HBAR at resistance, we can look for a new entry. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Ivan says he loves this HBAR. Yeah, look, Ivan, you're going to have to wait for it. These are your options. Wait for the flag or wait for that dip. You can see why I'm closing it. Okay, you can see major resistance, lots of reversal signals here. If you're making money, okay, take some profits. Okay, don't round trip all the time. It's sick. It's not something you want to be doing all day long. Another one, and it wasn't on Boopster's list, and I think it's a long shot, but we know Department of Government Efficiency is in the house. We know Elon is getting involved in government, and maybe this is something strategic reserve of Doge. I mean, is it too far-fetched, James? A strategic reserve of Doge
for Doge? How about Doge and this Department of Government Efficiency? Could get both.
Exactly.
I think either way they're going to move. Have you seen what the Trump tokens have been doing? And even Trump with hat went insane. I had that for the election. I dumped it because it went to zero almost, and it just went insane today. All of the Trump tokens are going nuts. I totally dropped the ball on that. I should have had some.
Yeah, you know what? We should have been paying more attention. It is the inauguration on Monday, guys. Remember, don't forget to sell those things on Monday. That is a sell. If there's ever a sell the news on a shit coin, okay, Trump with hat, okay, sell it before the inauguration. If you're
maybe night. Yeah, don't wait for everybody else to sell and you're the exit liquidity. Sell Sunday night before the inauguration. Get the pump into it.
If you get a pump, get out. If you get a pump, get out. Wise words from this man. He's also in the chats and hackers dropping some wise words there. Okay, let's go. Let's talk Doge. Ali Chart says in the last bull cycle, Doge started its second leg up during the week of January 25th, following a 56% price correction over the past few weeks. It's had a 46% correction. Now, if history repeats, the next leg up could kick off as soon as next week on Doge. So let's go. Let's talk Doge. And look, to be fair, throughout all of this drama and chaos, Doge has held 30 as a major level of support. Look at this. Look how it's consolidated here. You've got your 100-day moving average. So anybody sitting in a spot Doge position, you are happy. 0.301, that is major support for you here. And if this market starts waking up, well, Doge is going 47. And then it's coming up here. It's going to fill this wick at those 70s. I think it's inevitable. It is going to happen. So that is something you need to watch. How do you get there? Well, degens, okay? If you want to take this on, here's a gift, okay? There's a couple of warning signs. What are the warning signs? Oscillator getting hot, okay? Warning sign number one. I just want to put that out there. Remember, some of the best entries we like are when the oscillators are bottoming out. Okay, now this was a disgusting example, but when the oscillators are bottoming out, that's really where we get our moves. Look at that. That is what we want to see. So this move is now the top of a move. Now we know this thing can grind a little bit higher. We've seen that before, but I just want to say, if you're taking this on, you're taking on a little bit of risk. Not to say that it's not going to work, but if you're taking it on, there's a little bit of risk. So what can you do? I can give you the Lord's best entry, okay? And the best entry for me, the best degen entry that I would like to take if we do get an opportunity here on Doge, 357. That is your degen zone. That is the banger degen hot zone. This is double VWAP. It's 382. We'll call it a trend retest. And we've got some horizontals tie in there as well. So 357 for me on Doge. That is my best entry that I can give you from a degen perspective. Now, the riskier entry for you guys is here. Okay, you can take it here. You can see what is going on, but just understand what risks you are playing with. So at the moment, you can take this thing now, and your stop that I'm going to give you is a close under 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪. Okay, so that is not ideal. It's not the best entry for me because it could possibly dip down there into that zone that I've given you previously at 357. So degen zone number 1. Okay, if you're taking a high risk trade, your risk is 4%. That is what you're looking at the moment. Your upside target is going to be 3. And then you're going to look at around about 21% potentially on Doge. So the ideal scenario for me on this Doge possible degen play is that, okay, if you can let it sweat out to the downside, that's going to be your safest play. I would love to see that for Doge before there's another pump. So just look out for that. If you're jumping in now, you're exposing yourself to a ton of risk, and watch your leverage. Watch your leverage here. Remember, this thing is like 7% to the hot zone from here. So if it pulls back, it's going to be a horrible sweat out. If you're sitting in leverage and you think it's okay now, imagine what your leverage on 10 or 20x looks like when you are 7% down in a trade. Okay, just understand that feeling mentally, how you're going to feel if that happens. That is why we like to be a little bit more greedy with our entries. For example, on things like S that I gave earlier today. Look at that nice reaction there. That's a greedy entry. That's a nice entry. This one on Doge, it's not the best. Okay, not saying it's not going to work. Okay, here it is. Just understand your risk. 7% and 4%. If you're entering now between 383 and entering between 383 and 369, that is zone number 1 to enter. Alternatively, you enter between 383 and 357. Those are your entry zones there for a bullish move on Doge. Now, if it's the market's going to hold, those areas should hold for me on Doge. Then we're done with the American coins. I just want to highlight Lido. Let's not sleep on this thing. I know it's got a history. I know it's been battered and bruised. And, you know, a lot of the stuff was to do with the SEC and the staking and all these things on ETH. So I just want to remind you guys, 𝗙𝗧𝗏 giving you some info about Lido. He says it's the largest TVL in the industry with no emissions, sits at 1.5 billion FTV at the moment. Okay, so Lido makes $107 million in annualized revenue. Okay, this thing's making money. And then Pentoshi says, if you believe ETH staking will be approved, then Lido is likely a great bet. Okay, so don't forget, if ETH staking gets approved, Lido is a play for you guys. So what I want to do here, now you can see the theme today. We've got loads of trend breakouts. Now, don't play all the trend breakouts. Pick one or two of the ones I've shown you. What were the ones today? I think it was Cardano. I think it was XRP. What were the trend breakouts that I've just gone through? There were a couple, 𝗏𝗏, oh God, I just did it. What was this one? What is this? Doge. Okay, Doge. Now you can see they're all looking like this. Okay, if you take all of these trend breaks and they fail, what happens? You're going to get absolutely rinsed. You're going to get smoked. Okay, so what I suggest is pick one or two, play the trend break. Okay, leave that. Then the others, sit back and wait for the bangers. And for me, this has got to be a banger. Okay, I'm going to put my alarm on. I want to trade this thing. If we bang into this zone here, for me, Lido, that's a trade. Okay, if we get that entry there, 1.86 to 1.8. Okay, 1.86 to 1.8 on Lido, that's a trade for me. So I want to see that. Okay, some kind of pop into that zone and then that reaction. So call it 1.86 to 1.8 on Lido. That's a banger for me. Now, I don't want to trade this trend break here. It's too risky for me. Obviously, it could go up or it could be wrong, but then we sit and wait because, you know, 5 hours ago, we had 𝗏𝗏 that pumped and we made a handbag. So you don't have to trade everything you see out there. And here's Lido. Look at this. Pushing lower. I want to see this thing dip to the lows and then I want to see a reversal. Now, ideally, we get that reversal in that type of area for us. Obviously, we have our backup zone 1.67. We can use that as a backup. But right now for me, that's my entry 1.86 region on Lido. That is what I want to see. That is where I'm going to trade that. So let's get out our alarm. There we go. Put the alarm in. Okay, remember, set your alarms. Do the work. Set your alarms. And then when they go off, you can then take those trades. And James says, always remember to TP. There's always another trade. I concur with you there. And who was telling us, somebody in the chats was telling us 105. Asha. He says, we rejected 105. Make sure to TP. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Let's see. Okay, link broke. Link broke up. Link broke down. What did it do? Gabriel, did it break trend? Okay. let's talk things. Now, there is a new 𝗬𝗥 competition running exclusively for Banter. There's a prize pool of 10 ETH. Okay, so it's a $30,000 prize. If the market rips, well, it's going to be $40,000, and it's a 73-day trading comp. So there's no rush here, and there's prizes for volume, there's prizes for P&L. But basically, what they're saying is if you're trading on 𝗬𝗥, they're going to reward you. Okay, if you're trading tons of volume on 𝗬𝗥, or you're trading tons of volume anyway, try it on 𝗬𝗥, because you're going to get rewarded with these types of prizes. Yeah, they're going to give you a P&L prize, a volume prize, and all those things, up to 10 ETH. Okay, so there is a link in the description specifically for this competition. Go under my show, click on more, and there is 𝗬𝗥 over there. So you can register there. If you're already on 𝗬𝗥, all you do is click on that link, and that sends you to the competition. It's a Banter comp. Okay, so you can look at that. And then let's talk a couple of trades that I'm in. WIF is still doing its thing. Now, that was a patience game. Okay, it's paid off well. We grabbed this thing on Monday. Now it's starting to pay off for us, and that thing is printing, and it wasn't a big position, but it's now 2,500 up. That's cooking. Virtual, we were probably 2,000 and something up yesterday. Now we got a pullback, so this tells me we're going to get if we're going to get a bullish entry, we're getting close, and this is where we're going to add to our virtual position. So let's actually click on this now, because we're going to set an add limit order for virtual. Now we're going to do that. We're going to do that together if you want to. And then Ondo, a little bit of a disappointment. I'm 10% up on Ondo. Okay, so yeah, I'm just leaving that for now. Let's see how that goes. And let's break down virtual. So you guys will remember we caught this breakout trade, I think it was 2 days ago, and it outperformed a lot of expectations. And just a reminder for everybody out there who's not surprised, what did it just reject off? Thank you so much, market makers, for playing my game with me. 618 rejection. No surprises there. All you do is you're pulling your fib from the high to the low. Where can this thing reject? Where can I look for shorts? Where can I look for hedge shorts? Typically at a 618. I mean, it happens time and time again. You get a reaction in that zone. So if you want to understand what a 618 is, again, you go here, register. You're going to understand all of the stuff. You're going to see why we play these hot zones. You're going to see why these things are working, and come hang out with us in Chart Hackers. So here's your reversal now on virtual. What do we do next? Where am I adding to this trade? So what I did earlier today, I wanted to identify some bullish hot zones for me where I'm comfortable to let virtual start dipping. And I would love to see a dip into 3.16, 3.16, even 3.167. That type of region there for me is the rebuy zone on virtual. So anyone who's not in a virtual position, if you want a safe place to enter, okay, not a degen place, this is the safest place I can give you as a leverage trader looking at this chart. 3.167, and that might be the start of a bullish push to your next level, which could be up to 50% to the upside. Okay, so that would be a typical trend in play. So look at that, up, down, up. Okay, and then maybe you get more, or maybe it comes down after that. But that is essentially what we are looking for there on virtual. So 3.167 for me makes sense, and that is where I'm going to add. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to my 𝗬𝗥. I'm going to push limit order, and I'm going to go 3.16. I'm going to make it higher, so I'm going to say 3.17. Okay, 3.17, and my virtual position is only $7,500. So I'm not going to add too much. I'm going to add 2,500 there. So if we get that dip, I'm going to add to that position at 2,500. Okay, there you go. So now my limit order is placed on 𝗬𝗥. And you can see it now on the screen for me, 3.17. So if this dipped while I'm sleeping, okay, it's going to come there, pop into that, and hopefully we get the bounce. And now you can see what else I've done, which I'll teach you in my masterclass at the end of the month on the trading accelerator. But you can see I've done something interesting with my leverage on 𝗬𝗥. How can I be in a $7,500 position that has only cost me $94? How did I do that safely? Okay, well, I will teach you that at the end of the month. Just get on the accelerator and I'll teach you that in the masterclass. Look at WIF. How can I be in a $13,600 position now with WIF, with $260 margin? Like, what did I do? How did I took it out? Okay, we took it out. I'll teach you guys how to do all that stuff. Okay, so virtual, you've got the plan. This will be in the Chart Hackers Discord in a couple of minutes. Then some farts. I've been trading some farts, and I think I closed my fart. Or am I still open fart? No, I kept FOG open, and I closed FARC last night and AIXBT. Okay, so Fartcoin, we're gonna rip through this one. We're gonna rip through this FARC quickly. No changes. It's rejecting at our rejection zone that we gave you guys yesterday. What I said to the hackers this morning is, if there is another pump on FARC, look for this wick to get taken out, and then some kind of downside before we get some buys. Okay, so the game plan for me, you can see we've got 2 hour divergence here, bearish divergence, so you might get some downside. So for me, a strategy is possible short, take out the wick at 1.34. There's a possible short there. Then look for that downside move. Where's there a long potentially for me on Fartcoin? I've got to say the banger zone is got to be 1.03. down to 99, 1.03 down to 99. That would be the banger for me on Fartcoin. Okay, that chart will be in hackers in a sec. Then AIXBT closed that one yesterday, and look at this. We're getting our reversal on the 1 hour. I think we're getting close to a bounce, and we are getting close to a reaction zone. So AIXBT, look, this could be in play now. 0.735. Watch that zone there for me. That could be your first bounce zone, 0.735. Then I've got backup for you, 0.66, 0.66. Why do I like this? Look at that. Reversal print here. Last time we had a reversal point, there was a little bit of fuck-aroundery, and then they sent it up. So look out for that. But we can see when we do get those prints, we do get moves higher. So there are signs here that this thing could bounce. And look at this. 0.735 to 0.74, and then lower down 0.66. That is your next play for me on the FARC. Okay, let's go. Goku now. You know, I've been tracking this Goku, guys, for a few months now. I think you guys first got this thing at, I don't know, a tiny market cap. I can't even remember. It was so low. But here's Goku, and they've now got an AI agent. We are proud to have taken the step in the development of Goku Speaks. Now, Goku has its own AI agent. They are playing games here. Look at this thing. And this Goku AI, you can follow it. Goku Speaks. It says the first ever bounty is here. Solve the riddle below to claim $500 in Goku tokens. Then they give you conditions. There's a whole little competition here. And look at this. It's done by a bot. It's got its own wallet. Okay, so it's paying people. Look at this. And this guy got the answer. And he got $500 in Goku tokens. Okay, so follow this thing. Go to Cyan on Solana. That is Goku. So Cyan on Solana. And then you can follow Goku Speaks, and believe it or not, you can now trade it on 𝗬𝗥 as well. Okay, now there is a spot trading competition there on 𝗬𝗥. I'm not just showing you this for the competition. I'm just showing you used to have to buy this thing on Sol. Now it's on exchanges. Okay, here it is. It's on 𝗬𝗥 as well. You can trade that thing. So grab the link for 𝗬𝗥 if you want to trade some Goku. And then here it is. I gave you this Goku plan yesterday here, looking for these trend breaks. And we can see this thing holds really well, and it's pushing a $17 million market cap. And we've been looking at this thing from down here, guys, way back down here. And now it's finally starting to get some proper momentum for us. So Goku delivering again. And then I've got another meme for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that bio from yesterday. And another one I've got is 𝗏𝗲. And I think I've actually spoken about this one before. It's 𝗏𝗲 the Yeti, and it's one of the bigger memes on Sui, okay, on the Sui ecosystem. And look at that. Okay, little trend break here. Could be a spot meme. It's quite a big market cap, $144 million. But you can see on the 4 hour, this thing is breaking trend at the moment. And the hackers guys have it already. I sent it to hackers earlier today. So those guys got in a little bit earlier here. And you can see now this thing is finally breaking trend for us. And a reminder, if you want to trade meme coins, what you can do is use Xcelerator. And if you're following various Telegram alpha groups and things like that, all you do is you come here and you plug your Telegram into it. It automatically buys the tokens for you. You just set the parameters. You plug in your Telegram feed from whatever group you are following that drops alpha calls, and automatically trades for you while you're sleeping. So that's the Xcelerator. And again, like I said, everything is in the show description for you guys. There's the Xcelerator. Just click on it and sign up there and then give it a go. Right. Okay, that's it. Let's take a look at BTC. Where are we? ETH is pumping the way we like it. BTC short getting rinsed. No problem. Okay. Head shorts getting rinsed. What an absolute pleasure if you are net long and you are playing the hot zones. Look at this beautiful little bounce on ETH for us. Okay, so that is looking good. And then, James, 𝗟𝗓𝗡 and near? God, we're running out of time here. Okay, look, yeah, I closed 𝗟𝗓𝗡 and now it's ripping. There she goes. So 𝗟𝗓𝗡 pushing into resistance band here at 17.64. You can see why that is a danger zone, obviously. And then our next resistance band, so anyone in 𝗟𝗓𝗡, 18.7 is going to be your next target zone. So 18.7 for 𝗟𝗓𝗡, that is what you're looking at as your next danger zone. Okay, so moving nicely. And I did drop this one in Hackers this morning. So Hackers traders, don't say you didn't get this. This is in my channel this morning, 6 hours ago. I dropped this setup for you from 𝗟𝗓𝗡 in my trading setups channel. It's all there for you guys. And that is now cooking. So looking nice. That is flipping to the upside. Let's go near quickly for our man. What was his name there, James?
He's on screen there. Ramesh.
Ramesh. Okay, Ramesh. Okay, let's talk near. Let's clean this thing. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yes, we are still in our weekly. Zone here on near. Okay, so we're going to just quickly look at a lower time frame for you. This is our 2 hour. Let's see what's going on. Trend breaks all over the place. Okay, look at that. In fact, this one's lagging a little bit. So near's got work to do. If you compare this to 𝗟𝗓𝗡, I would say this is a lagger and it's probably going to take off at some point. So that 𝗟𝗓𝗡 chart looks like this. Okay, that 𝗟𝗓𝗡 chart looked like that. Okay, something along those lines. And you saw this morning, 𝗟𝗓𝗡 had this cluster already. And then 𝗟𝗓𝗡 absolutely took off. So Ramesh, if you want to trade near at the moment, you can see what's going on. In fact, this looks nice. It could be a nice degen play. Let's see your risk. Your risk is 4.5%, so not ideal. Okay, not ideal. But what I do like is the fact that it's reclaimed the 200-day MA. It's holding it as support, and Lookout's reacting off that 236 fib. So yes, looks good. Okay, to me, looks okay. If you get a pullback, look at that 382 at worst. You don't want to go lower than the 382 at 5, and then you're looking for that bounce. So for me, near first line of support is going to be 5.09, and then you've got 5 on the button. I think that's it's not a bad trade for me. To the 50-day MA, easy invalidation. You close under these types of levels, and then it's probably coming down to retest some of this wick down here and somewhere in those regions. So that's up to you. If you can hold, if you can hold a bleeding position, higher leverage, guys, you know what to do. Okay, 200-day MA, that is 5.09. That's your support. A little bit lower down, 5 is your level. Okay, so that's a wrap from me, guys. I hope you've got enough to work on into tomorrow. Now, the market's looking hot. We've got the Trump inauguration on Monday. We have been calling for the last 10 days. We've been saying sell off, and then we've been saying pump into the inauguration. Well, we've been saying that this week after that nice PPI and CPI. I think it makes sense now that you pump into the inauguration this weekend. David said maybe some fuckery on Saturday, maybe a big sell-off, then one more pump. And guys, if we super green into that inauguration on Monday, be careful, take profits. I'm going to be taking tons of profits if we are popping into those types of things. Right, that is me done. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time. Catch you later.